another Derder headshot brought to you by RosaLife.com. Sunday's coverage starts out with the first Elite 8 matchup, Tampa Bay Damage versus DC Arsenal. This match starts off with Damage slowly working their way down the field and picking Arsenal players out of their bunkers. Jacob Edwards went to work in the Doritos and took out everyone across the field, getting Damage the first point with ease. Next point started out in Damage's favor, laning out Mouse off the break. Then things go even better for them when Arsenal's 50 player gets a major penalty. J-Rab doesn't fail to capitalize on this and goes to work in the snake, taking out the last few players and forcing Arsenal to concede the point. After this, Damage locked down the field and Arsenal continued to dig a deeper hole by getting more penalties.
They're probably one of the toughest teams out here for sure. They were playing great all weekend in the prelims. We won 5-0, but it shouldn't have looked like 5-0. They did get a lot of penalties, which hurt them a lot. You know, they're a great team, like I said, and if they didn't stay out of the penalty box, it would have probably been a lot closer match. But all in all, though, a win's a win, and we're just happy to go on to the Final Four.
We came out aggressive, you know, we wanted to take ground on Tampa because we knew if we could get to the spots that we could have potentially, you know, beat a great team. Apparently that they know our game plan, they know we were going to come with it. They crossed their guns up heavy, they shot their guns, shot the lanes, man, and really just chopped us up. I give a hats off to Tampa, they played great, they know our style, they know we're the most aggressive team out here. If you win some, you lose a lot more in this game, you know, so you'll see us in DC Open, baby. DC Arsenal.
This match ends with Mouse getting painted up, and Damage gives Arsenal the skunk 5-zip. Next up, we have San Antonio X Factor versus LA Infamous. Colt Roberts draws first blood for X Factor, catching Greg Sewers in the face. However, Drew Templeton responds by taking out Colt and then proceeds to clear out the field, getting them the first point. In the next point, Nikki Cuba takes out Bernaccia trying to bump into the snake early. And then Drew bumps his way down the snake, but is taken out by Colt across field. However, shortly after, Nikki drops the hammer.
Oh, get out, sucker!
That sucker gets out, and Infamous is now up by 2. X Factor holds nothing back in the next one. After they take out Drew in the back center, Archie wastes no time getting into Infamous's snake and got some clutch kills for his team. He bunkers out Zach Patient in the corner, and from this point on, this match is a back and forth battle.
Really tight game. It was tied up 2-2 with about 3 minutes left. Well, they got the dink they needed, and happened to be me. And then they came down. Oddly enough, Bobby came down the Dorito side, got shot, and played on, and unfortunately didn't get a penalty. But anyways, yeah, so they beat us in a close one. It's a tough loss, but we played pretty well in the tournament. Beat some good teams, and you know, we're on the way up. Looking forward to the next one.
I knew it was going to be a battle because I know their roster is so stacked. We went up, put 2 quick points. Like I said, they're a strong team. They battled back, took 2 back. We ended up going into the 5th point, battle back and forth. It was a rough game, a longer game. I think it was around 4 minutes. We ended up closing with 2 bodies, super close game. That put us up 1 point and gave them 18 seconds to close out the last game. We basically took safe spots off the break, blocked up the field and waited for them to come, and we came out on top. So now we're going into the top 4, not sure who we play yet, but feeling confident.
With 18 seconds left, X Factor has no choice but to run into Infamous's guns, and Callie Rudolph takes full advantage of it. Time runs out, and Infamous take this one 4-3. Next up, we have Sacramento Excessive versus Edmonton Impact. First point, Excessive comes out strong with Riley getting into the 50 and Thomas the Troll Taylor going to work in the snake. Impact concedes the point to save time. The next one, the Troll, goes airborne into the snake insert with a rough landing. Riley gets caught playing too aggressive up the center. But nonetheless, Jamie Lopez gets into the snake and goes to work for excessive, forcing Impact to concede another point. Next point, Zane Yakimek goes to work in the Dorito side with his bunny hopping skills. And despite Stillwell taking one to the face, JC manages to get down to the snake and close out a much needed point for Impact. From there, excessive just fell apart.
We just played Impact. We had them up 2-0. And then we just kind of fell apart, to be honest. I got pulled on a slide off the break on our third point, so that put us 6-on-7, but that should have been no big deal. We should have been able to grind it out. We got like 3 guys just got shot out of their bunkers. What can I say? We stepped all over it. It was horrible. I mean, we were beating the stuff out of them the first 2 points, and now we're going home. God bless.
It was a really good match. We came into this game pretty hot. We went 4-0 in the prelims, coming out of a really tough bracket. And Excessive struggled more, but sometimes it's the teams who fight like that that come out strong, and they put a good game plan together. Got up 2 points on us, and on a slow field like that could be the difference. We had about 6.5 minutes to come back. We ended up tying it up with 1:30 left, winning that point with only 16 seconds left, and then the last was just a little bit of carnage and melee, but it was a good game, a lot of heart from both teams, and expect big things for both teams in the future, especially us for the rest of the day.
This match ends with some chaos and drama, but Impact manages to hold Excessive off and take this one 3-2. Our last Elite 8 matchup of the day is Portland Uprising versus San Francisco Explicit. Both teams break out aggressively, but Tyler Harmon manages to get into the snake first and slowly pick them out of their bunkers one by one. Ryan Tucker gets a kill in the Doritos, but also gets himself a major penalty, costing his team the first point. The next point, Explicit continued to break out aggressively, and Chris Lasoya does a great job bunkering people out left and right to finish the point. After this, penalty flags continue to rain down on Uprising.
We just got done playing Portland Uprising, and we did very well. Had a lot of fun that game. That was one of the funner games of the tournament. Running down the snake and making some good moves up the middle and just making our shots count. You know, we got to make every shot that we get count, every opportunity. We just have to go on to the next one and keep carrying this momentum.
We just fell apart on penalties. We stopped playing like a team, started getting penalties, and we just could never put anything together on the snake side. We stopped bringing it together today. We stopped doing what we were doing yesterday, and that's what killed us. We really thought we had this one, but you know, they played better. They deserved it. You know, that's a wrap. We just got to go back to the drawing board, come back hot in DC, and keep playing like we were playing in prelims this tournament. And also, Derder, you guys are kicking ass. Thanks for everything. See you in DC.
Embarrassed and frustrated, Uprising tries to destroy any footage of this massacre by shooting our lonely cameraman. So sad. 5-zip. Our first semifinals matchup is between Tampa Bay Damage and LA Infamous. The match starts off with Nicky Cuba laning out Dave Baines off the break, and then he proceeds to go to work up the center. This leaves Timmy as the last one alive, and Infamous surrounding him. In the next point, everyone seems to be sitting on their guns. Nikki tries to break the game open by bunkering out the 50, but the only issue is there's no one in that bunker. However, this distraction gives Zach Patient enough time to get down the snake. Chad Bougier takes him out, and Zach gets a minor penalty for spinning. This pretty much costs his team the point, and we're all tied up 1-1 in this low-scoring match.
They just came out and just locked down the field, just played really slow points, and we kind of ran into their guns. We knew what they were going to do. We just didn't counter on what they were doing the whole time. So
we try to go big guns against them because we know they like to get in these the good hold spots and kind of grind it out and work you out with some gun skills. So we try to set up to kill their corners. We shot both the back left and back right. That was a pretty fast point. They came back, tied it up 1-1 in a real long one. We went out there in another really long one and had a one-on-one. Came down to a weird situation. We actually won. Put us up 2-1. Under 2 minutes, we knew they had to come pretty fast. We knew the spots we wanted to go to, but we didn't want to risk any big bodies, so we kind of stayed inside, which is not really our style. And of course, it backfires. They start coming in and pressing really hard, but they must have missed Callie and Picky in the back center in the corner because those guys chopped them all up as they came through.
Callie Rudolph and Patrick Hughes managed to hold off damage, and Infamous takes this one 2-1. Our next semifinals match is Edmonton Impact versus San Francisco Explicit. Impact gets off to a good start, laning out Tyler Harmon off the break. This point ends with Marcelo about to get a penalty for playing on, but Explicit concedes the point before the refs can do so. Explicit answers back with taking out Justin Cornell on the break, but Impact still manages to catch Harmon trying to get into the snake. Chad George gets overly excited about this and dives out of bounds. However, Impact still has enough players to close out the point, and they dominated all sides of the field for the rest of this match.
We just got done playing Impact. You know, we wanted to move on to first and second. Unfortunately, Impact had our number. We were pushing really hard snake side every game. They keyed up on that. They stopped us from going down the snake. They pushed the center and just chopped us up. You know, we tried different game plans. It just wasn't working.
It was a really strong game on our part. Been playing the field pretty slow, taking a little bit of a new approach, just trying to stay short, get our guns up, and to work that game, we shot a lot of bodies off the break. Pretty much set up to shoot a lot of guys come down the middle, so we pretty much chopped Chris up every point. Got a couple penalties, which is always good for us. Beat him down the snake, and once we got up on bodies, that's when we started going aggressive. We went first down the snake, then down the middle, down the rear side. And to be honest with you, everything kind of played the way that we planned out.
Ryan Podesta is the nail on the coffin, and after skunking Uprising 5-zip, Explicit gets the skunk this time. Impact moves on to the finals.
And I see a badass mother who don't take no crap from nobody.
We tighten it up and we wait. It's a 1 point game, it's a 1 point game.
Welcome to our finals match between LA Infamous and Edmonton Impact. Impact draws first blood, clipping Bobby Aviles on the tip of his hopper. Then Justin Cornell makes a game-changing move down the snake and takes out half the team. Patrick Hughes is left in a 1-on-3, but isn't able to make it happen. Impact gets on the board first. Next point, Infamous takes out Zane Yakimek and Justin Cornell, or Leon. Nicky has field position in the car wash, but loses his balance and takes one right in the shoulder. Bobby and Drew work together to make something happen in the snake, and Bobby makes a clutch move to take out both Chad George and Tim Montresor. Around the same time, there's a minor penalty assessed in the Doritos, which leaves Zach Yakimek as the last one, and he gets lassoyed by Drew Templeton, tying up this match at 1. In the next one, Bobby Aviles gets a major penalty for spinning. And after this, Jared Stillwell jets his way down the snake, and Infamous concedes the point. In the 4th point, Greg Sewers tries to push hard down the Doritos, but gets clipped while doing so. However, no need to fear. Double knee slide is here with Travis Lemansky and the tank on his back. Ryan Moorhead is staying on the snake lane, but Zach sneaks by the second he drops it. He works his way into Impact's side of the field and proceeds to shoot out the remaining players, tying this match back at 2. In the next point, Cuba comes out hot, laning out the snake corner, and then goes to trade out with the center car wash. Then the game goes slow up until Bobby makes a move up the center to take out the Dorito side Aztec. This is quickly followed by Drew bunkering out Montresor for the win, but notices a hit on himself. Tim manages to hold him off to run out the time, and this match is going to overtime.
Get me a fucking win! Go! Give me a fucking win! Go! Let's go! Hey, this is all
overtime point, 3-on-3. Infamous and Impact. Let's go, Ryan. Next point wins. Impact fans, make some noise! Infamous fans, make some noise!
Hey, back center, shoot my way.
10 seconds.
Shoot my way. Shoot Greg's way. Let's go, Impact!
Infamous manages to lane out Ryan Moorhead off the break and gets the 3-on-2 advantage. Nicky Cuba then works his way down the snake and gives Impact the night-night.
Slow down, you
Derder Nation, coming at you live from the Infamous camp. Just want to say thanks to the fans, to all my ladies back at home, Kristen, Isabel, and my mom. I love you guys. Without you guys, it's just about the support from everybody, all my teammates, everybody. And we played at CPX Paintball, one of the best places to play in the world. And we won first place. We had to do a 3-on-3. And Bobby Sewers, the whole team stepped up, and we just came together finally as a team. So, peace.
Congratulations to LA Infamous for their first place finish in the 2012 NPPL Chicago Open.
Oh, get out, sucker! sucker. Night, night.